Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Tuesday's talk with Grada. And only in the nick of time today because it's 8 o'clock and I normally do my Tuesday's talks at 1 p.m. Today I was busy all day attending a workshop. All right. So I am really excited about the topic today. I want to talk about your solar plexus chakra. So a chakra, just to put it in short, is an power center, an energetic power center that sits just outside of your stomach, and it's connected to the color yellow. And recently I have been dealing with a lot of clients who've come to me and they've had issues in the middle of the body. So your solar plexus would be sitting right there, right? So just below your heart chakra. And it's very important that you understand your anatomy. Otherwise it's a little bit like you're driving a car. Let's say you're driving a Volkswagen, but you actually don't understand that you are driving a car. You might be thinking you're riding a push bike, right? This is how a lot of us go through life, how we treat the inside of our bodies, our beautiful vehicle that we've been given, that is so much more powerful of anything than we could even ever imagine. So the powers of our body is powered up by energy centers that sit just outside of our body, maybe a foot to the outside of our body. And those energy centers are actually even more real than the parts of you that you can touch. Like when you, I'm real because I can touch my hands and I can feel my fingers and so on. But people like me, I've been a healer for a long time and a coach for many years already. Like I'm starting to feel, there are not many people like me left because people get older and then they die, right? But I've had decades of experience in healing people one-on-one, which is very intimate work. And I can feel and see people's energy centers very clearly. So to me, your energetic body is just as real as your magnetic body, as your physical body. And I can see how problems start in your energy and they end up in the physical body. And I like it if problems can be prevented. But today I really wanted to talk about the solar plexus because lots of people have issues in there. This is where the brakes are on, where your energy gets blocked. And it can even cause heart attacks, even though it's in your stomach, not your heart per se, right? But the reason being is, a classic example, for instance, is if you're a giver, you're a generous, heart-centered woman or man. But I guess I'm seeing a lot more women than men because women tend to network and look after their health and well-being and looking for answers. So imagine you're a very heart-centered, active woman, always giving out. That's what the heart center does, right? So there's a heart-centered energy just outside of your chest. And if it's blocked below the heart center, that often means the energy gets bottled up in this section and the movement is blocked because energy is meant to flow through us all the time. Just like if you sit next to a creek, the water keeps flowing, right? It doesn't stop somewhere, because if it gets blocked, let's say a tree goes across the creek, you get an embankment of water on one side and a trickle on the other side. And this literally happens in our energetic centers as well. Then you get stomach aches, you get tension in there, you get nerves and anxiety and butterflies. You probably know the feeling really well because life is so overwhelming and stressful for many people, and that gets hooked in our solar plexus. So today we're going to finish with a very short meditation that will probably help you sleep well tonight and hopefully relax a few little kinks in the cable of your solar plexus. When it comes to money, because I like to talk to people about and release their money issues as well. So once I get people back on deck, physically speaking, their bodies start to feel better and their relationships start to work better, then we need to look at the wealth, right? How much money is flowing into your life? Are you able to hang on to the money, or are you always have more going out than coming in? And because it's really your birthright to be rich. It's every human's birthright to be rich, and we're living in a very, very abundant universe. Also, if you think of the solar plexus and it's yellow, the colors of the chakras also relate to the colors of money. So the $50 note is yellow, right? So once you get into the $50 notes, you can start to save quicker. Like it's easier to save a fortune with $50 notes than it is to save with 50 cents. Or even back in the past you used their $1 notes, let's say a $5 note, right? It's much easier to save up to a big sum of money with the yellow pieces of paper. So why do we have issues in our solar plexus? Well, over the decades or eons actually, the solar plexus was frowned upon because it's the home of our ego. And back in the past, people always felt like we have to crucify our ego, we have to deny it, we have to squash it, we have to kill it, we have to do all sorts of things, we have to ignore it. And actually the poor old ego has been a scapegoat for forever, right? And so the ego has its home in the solar plexus. And I'm here to tell you, by the way, that your ego is a beautiful being, part of you that's necessary, that sets you apart from everyone else, that creates your uniqueness and your personal characteristics. You were created like that by your creator, and then you developed your own personal traits. And I feel that we're just taking the whole ego thing, we've been going overboard with it, right? We don't need to scapegoat our ego. We just need to love and respect it and have compassion for it. And the ego can have some funny shadows. And when the shadow jumps out at us, it's actually important that we just simply slow down the reaction a bit and observe the shadow like from the outside, and just ask yourself what's going on here. So your solar plexus becomes highly developed between the ages of 14 and 21, right? That's when lots of things start. And so when you think about that time, that's like teenage years, they're actually very, very difficult years for the personality, for the ego, because we know the peer pressure is enormous. It was already enormous 50 years ago. It's always been the same. And people get bullied, you bully yourself, you don't like what you see in the mirror. And if this is still the case, by the way, you can check in on the health of your solar plexus by checking in how you feel when you stand in front of the mirror and looking at yourself, and what's the feeling you get from that, right? It goes like, yay, I love myself so much, I'm awesome, I'm fantastic, I'm the most popular person in my world, or blah blah. If this is real for you, then you have a healthy, strong solar plexus. But if you are sort of always quickly wrapping a towel around you because you don't want to see your tummy or your thighs or whatever, if you have shame in your body, that means your solar plexus isn't strong. And other people will pick up on that if your solar plexus is feeling weakened, because they will start to pick on you. They'll put you down, they'll exploit you, they try to pull you down. And so rather than reacting to your circumstances, you just need to do some work, some inner work with your solar plexus. And I feel like doing a little bit right now. I've also got it written down. I've got a few hints for you that you can do, because it's too much to talk about right now, and I don't want to bombard you and overwhelm you with my double Dutch at 8 o'clock at night. But probably one of the worst shadows that people don't want to face is the shadow like, I am selfish. Because we've all been told as little kids that's selfish, put that down, give it away. give it to somebody else, you don't deserve that, you're greedy, and so on. But just think of a situation when selfishness is really, really important, right? So to integrate that shadow and start a loving, compassionate relationship with the selfish aspect of you is really, really important. So I can think of an example. The classic one, of course, is when you fly in an airplane and you're being told that if the plane crashes, the oxygen comes down and you have to put the oxygen mask on your own nose first, and then you're able to help other people, right? So that is a classic, healthy example of I am selfish. What I've found with my clients that often when it's a decision-making time, so they come to me because there is a fork in the road and people have to make an important decision, and it's like, if they go this way, well, all sorts of things could happen. If they're growing part of their life, they have to shrink another part of their life, and they just have real trouble figuring out which way to go and how to make the decision. And it's too noisy in their body because there's just too much noise going on, so they don't have any clarity and they can't listen to their intuition anymore. I often say, put a drop of selfishness on that whole situation, right? What would you do if you just had a little bit more selfish energy in your body? What would you do then? And often people get real clarity and they often make the right decision. And it might sound counterintuitive, but in our universe, everything needs to be balanced. So if you are being too unselfish, you're always denying, putting other people first and so on, your life is going to get really sticky, right? You're going to get stuck everywhere and you won't even be able to help, truly help, or be there for other people that you really love. So practicing acts of selfishness is really important, like, 5 or 10 minutes a day. Just do things that are purely selfish. So you can see that as a light shadow. How is this working for me? And you can even ask yourself, what would a person do who really, what would a person who loved him or herself properly do in this situation? So that's another good question if it comes to decision making time. If you loved yourself properly, if you had a healthy dose of self-love, what would you be doing then? And sometimes that's hard to imagine, so I just simply say, what would you do if you were a little bit more selfish? And then often, like I said before, people have real clarity. So selfish, like I said, is what we call a dark shadow in the solar plexus. And the way to work with your shadows is to recognize it first, acknowledge it, shower it with compassion, and give it place in your nervous system. And you can do that by being in a relationship with your shadow. So a shadow is here to stay. It's never going to go away. You can't dig it out of your body and chuck it away. And it's not meant to be there either. Also, women have real trouble with being mean as well, right? So mean is another dark shadow that sits in the solar plexus. And of course, we've all been treated mean at different times, and it's hurt us so bad that we probably made a decision like, I'm never going to be mean again to anyone. And so some women have real trouble accessing their mean self. And again, other people know deep down that you have issues with that, so they're gonna tread all over you and wipe their feet basically on you, even after you've helped them and loved them and being generous and kind and heart-centered. And so adding a drop of meanness to a situation here and there can also be very, very helpful in your life. So I want to finish with a short meditation to get you back into your body. So when we talk about the mind-body connection, So this is your mind, as you know, and it often gets completely separated from our body, and then things in our lives don't go so well. It becomes hard work. And our body is full of wisdom, by the way. So our body is the home to our soul, to the subconscious mind as well. And it's always trying to connect to our mind. But our mind is often like a racehorse. It's racing around, galloping around the world or whatever. And literally that connection between the mind and body gets stretched or it gets disconnected. And there's too much static going on. And that's when we find it difficult as well to make self-respecting decisions. So I'm all for strengthening the mind-body connection. And of course that's part of a lot of my healing and coaching as well. So let's do a very short meditation. And if you're driving, please don't listen because it's not safe, because you might fall asleep. So we're focusing on the color yellow, because yellow heals your solar plexus. Plexus just means a bundle of nerves. Solar, because it looks like a sun. Your solar plexus looks like a yellow ball with like hair-like fibers or rays going out, and they actually nerve fibers as well. So it's very busy in there a lot of the time. So just maybe do this first, rub your hands together. Right, and you feel some energy happening, coming out of your hands, meeting each other, and then you feel this ball. Wow, I feel a big ball of energy. So just play with it. The ball of energy that you see and feel is life force. And we're going to choose to give it the color yellow because we wanted to go into our solar plexus. And if you like, you can gently close your eyes. Inhale and exhale. And now maybe inside the yellow ball between your hands, you see the word stress and overwhelm right in the center. So I want you to imagine seeing those words turning into butterflies and flying away. Just let it fly away. Let them flutter away. Maybe there's a lot of stress and overwhelm. And maybe you can think of noise, and what else can you think of? Responsibilities, pressure, tiredness, pain, just so much noise, constant pressure, feeling under the pump. Alright, so all those words, if you have a word coming into your body, maybe scarcity even, not enough time, not enough money, not enough energy. Just see all those words morph into a butterfly and just leave that ball of energy that flying off into the universe. Just letting it go. So once you've done that enough, and just make sure that you let your body clear out whatever it wants to show you, your worst stresses and pressures. Once that's enough, I want you to think of a word that's the opposite, like maybe rest, peace, tranquility, richness, riches, abundance, cool, calming energy, order, feeling organized. And just allow those words to settle inside your yellow ball. Just let them find a home in there, like a nice little seat somewhere, or maybe a nice little blanket or cushion. Just let those words land inside your ball. What else can we think of? Harmony, connection, ESP, intuition, being in alignment, connecting to your higher self, being in the miracle zone, following the light. Even just the word light or light field, feeling happy, cheerful, joyful, feeling loved, being open to receive. So just feel the pressure of that ball, feel it potentizing, warming, getting bigger, richer, fuller, stronger, more peaceful, more invigorated. Feeling connected with all that is, so you're a divine spark, so is everyone else around you. Just realizing your interconnectivity itself. Your energy expands all throughout the universe. And just allow that awareness to sink into your body. And then I want you to just come back closer to home. Just imagine thinking of a field of sunflowers. And the sunflowers follow the sun. So they turn towards the light. They have their backs towards the shadow. They turn towards the light, and they always all follow the same direction all day long. And the next day they do the same. So just reminding yourself that you can do the same, allowing your thoughts, your feelings, the contents of your solar plexus to always just level up to higher thinking, thoughts that support you, that activate your life force, that are sustaining, life enhancing. So just think of your solar plexus, your stomach area, as a sunflower that follows the light, the sun, the warmth, love. It's naturally set to do that. Just enjoy that feeling. Then when you've had enough, but you feel nice and calm and still, feel grounded, feel your feet on the floor, your bottom on the chair. You feel this incredible amount of energy between your hands. You can give this yellow ball to your own body and gently push it into your solar plexus, which is just below your heart. Inhale, exhale. And this is how you can tune up your solar plexus. So, I mean, you can do this, of course, for longer than that. Every day I like to spend time by myself meditating, but meditating doesn't have to be serious. It can be absolute fun, right? And light-filled and easy. If you have a lot of stress in your solar plexus, you can just imagine thinking of your beloved pet, like a dog or a cat or a bird or grandchild or your child or a baby, something small that's easy to love, small and innocent, right? Something that you love unconditionally. And then you just bring that feeling into your body and really amplify it and let that build up between your hands, and just focus on that and let it build up. And then you can gently amplify your solar plexus and put it back in your stomach. So there are many ways that you can work with your solar plexus, and once it starts to feel more settled, your whole body actually up-levels itself and you feel more grounded. So the solar plexus is one of the chakras that's really stuck in the middle. You know, it gets a lot of the brunt. It's the scapegoat a lot of the time. We don't like to connect with it. So that's the reason why we actually need to do a lot of work with it to tune it up. So just remember the yellow sunflowers. Remember as well that you only allow thoughts that are supportive of you, that are supportive of your health, your well-being, of your dreams and your goals. Allow mostly those thoughts to run the show in the background. And it can be a little bit tedious, like to turn off the stream of negative thinking, but you can do it. Otherwise your solar plexus starts to shrink, right? So this is where you can be very selfish as well. You're so selfish that you don't allow yourself to worry about anything because you're taking good care of yourself. So that's another little practice you can do for this week. All right, so thanks for tuning in, everyone. Soon I'm going to launch an online program that goes over 8 weeks. It's for women. I will be working with women. It will be once a week when we meet over Zoom. And so everyone in the whole world can attend. Because you can just, we do this over your laptop or computer. The recordings will be available as well. It's an 8 weeks journey with me where we go through each and every chakra. So a chakra is a pillar of wealth and health and all the rest. A portal, you could say, that you can work with, and everything in your life starts to change. So I'm really excited. I will be announcing that soon. And yeah, I hope you have a really good night tonight. I'm sure we all feel a little bit calmer, and I look forward to being with you again next Tuesday. Big love from me. Bye everyone. Thanks for listening.